Hi, everybody.
Hi, Mr. Marty.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Marty.
Hi.
Hi, Jumpy and Mr. Mo.
Bye.
Tell them bye and have a good week.
Hi, Mr. Marty. Bye, Mr. Marty.
Bye.
Hello. Look at my shirt. I don't have the Everest on it.
Nope, don't have Everest.
Oh.
Yes, here she is.
No.
Liberty.
Liberty. Liberty is not on my shirt. Have you heard about Liberty?
Have they heard about Liberty? Tell them who Liberty is.
She's Paw Patrol.
She's Paw Patrol. What does she do?
She walks.
She walks
On her paws.
on her paw.
And that Sky. Oh.
That's Marshall. Sky's over there.
Where's who?
Sky's right there.
No, Zuma.
Zuma is right there.
Where is Azorus?
Right there.
Where is...
All right, tell them bye. Say see you next week.
No,
Say see you next week.
who I missed on my soap?
Liberty. Tell them see you next week.
See you next week. See you next week.
Okay. Today we are going to continue. We talked about the angry woman last week. This week we talk about the gentlewoman. And it's late. Things have gotten crazy today. So we're just going to jump right into this so we can get this done and get it out for everybody to watch it, since I'm already almost 2.5 hours late. So the gentlewoman. When we live according to the word, gentleness is born. Then, once gentleness is born, it will affect our actions and speech, since we have the renewing of our mind. And we know that that's talked about in Romans 12:12. When we become a new person, the renewing of our mind, we're a changed person. We change the way we do. So when we read this, when we think about this, we don't just get gentleness. Gentleness just, we don't snap our fingers and bam, we're gentle. Now, some of us are more gentle than others. Some of us handle ourselves better than others, but we're not just given gentleness. We might expand on that trait. We might have that trait more than others, but we have to work at it. Once we work on our gentleness, once gentleness is born, once it is part of us, it's going to affect everything we do. It's going to affect our actions, our speech, our thinking. It's going to affect everything we do. If we have gentleness, and we want to be like the gentlewoman in the book of Proverbs that we've been talking about since we stay in the book of Proverbs, we're going to have 3 things. For a gentlewoman, we're going to have a gentle heart, we're going to have gentle speech, and then we're going to have gentle actions. So we're going to start with gentle hearts. 1 Peter 3:3-4 says, "Do not let your adornment be outward. Rather, let it be the hidden person of the heart, with the incorruptible beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is very precious in the sight of God." God sees our spirit. God sees inside of us. And what does it say is beautiful to God and is precious to God? A gentle and quiet spirit. It takes courage to be gentle. It requires a decision to be made. Being quiet, being gentle requires a decision. We have to tell ourselves, we have to be in that mindset. We have to want to be gentle. Do we bear that gentleness? Do we have that desire to be gentle? Are we gentle? Are we quiet? Do we have that heart? Do we have that precious spirit that God wants of being quiet and gentle? Not quiet as in whispering all the time, you can barely hear you, but that quiet, gentle spirit where we don't jump to conclusions. We're not harsh. We're not rash. We're not angry all the time. We take in the things. We think about what we're going to say before we say it. We think about how it's going to come across. We consider other people, like we talked about last week. Consider the consequences and the people that it's going to affect. Start with a gentle heart. Like I said, some of us have a gentle heart. Some of us need to work on it. But we all are given a heart, but we have to work on. I'm not saying some of us are given an angry heart and some of us are given a gentle heart. Some of us have to work at being gentle more than others. Some of us fly off the handle a whole lot easier than others. Some of us speak harshly, not meaning to. That's just how we are. Being blunt. Not really caring how things come across. We've got to work at it. And once that gentleness is born, it tells us it's going to affect our speech, which is our next step. So the gentle woman, she has to have a gentle heart that God says is precious and he loves. Then once we have that, you're going to have gentle speech. Gentle speech. Proverbs 15:1. A gentle word turns away wrath, but harsh words stir up anger. Proverbs 17:9. The gentle woman seeks love, not selfish vindication. Proverbs 15:4. A wholesome, gentle tongue is a tree of life. Sometimes we are quick to say harsh words. And what happens? Do we win people over with those harsh words? No. Those harsh words result in anger and pain and more hurt than when we started. How do we talk? How do we respond to our kids, our spouse, our coworkers, our neighbors, our church family? Anyone that we have a relationship with, a friendship with, how do we interact with them? How, when our feelings are hurt, do we react? How, when there's a problem, do we approach it? Are we gentle? Like in 15:1, are we gentle to solve the problem? Or are we ready to stir the pot some more? We're going to stir the anger. Proverbs 17:9, are we seeking love out of that? Are we seeking self-revenge, self-vindication? Proverbs 15:4, are we using a gentle tongue? Or are we doing the harsh tongue? Words shape and mold. Words determine and declare. Do we have gentle words? How are we using gentle words? Proverbs 12:18. Tongue of the wise brings healing. Healing, not hurt. Healing. Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the bones. Gentle words, sweetness to the soul. And I'm not telling you all anything new. When there's a problem, when there's a conversation, when there's an issue, you are more apt to bring your fences down, let your guards down if somebody doesn't come attacking you. If they come to you nicely, if they come to you calmly, if they're coming to work it out. And what do we do when someone comes and sits down and says, I have a problem with you, and they just start bashing in on us and coming in and anger? We get defensive. And what happens? Nothing gets solved. We just end up leaving two angry people. We're not the gentle woman. We've got to use gentle words. Gentle speech pleases God. Proverbs 31:26. Govern my tongue with the law of kindness. Oh, how many of us need that today? Many of us need that today. Govern our tongue with the law of kindness. So first, to be the gentle woman, we have to have gentle hearts, which God wants us to have. That's precious in His sight. Secondly, if we have gentle hearts, we're going to have gentle speech. If we have gentle speech, it is going to affect our actions. We are going to have gentle actions. Gentle actions come from strength. You know how we started this devotional and we said we got to work at it. We got to work to get that gentleness. We got to work on it. When we work on it, it creates strength. It takes time. It takes commitment to be gentle. Gentle actions should rule all of our relationships. Sometimes it doesn't, but it should. How, again, we talked about with our words, with our husband and our friends, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What about our actions? How do we interact with our husband, our kids, our church family, our neighbors, our coworkers, yada, yada, yada? Our people, the people we're with every day. How do we interact with them? Are we approachable? Are we nice? Are we gentle? Or are we, stay away from her? She's had a bad day today. She's always hot-headed. You don't want to be with her. Are we gentle? Gentleness also helps us want to help other people. We want to help the poor. We want to help the needy. When we're not all centered around ourselves and we're not mad at the world and we hate everybody like the angry woman we talked about yesterday or last week. When we have a gentle spirit, we are willing to help. We see others' pain. We see others' needs, and we want to help them. The whole part of gentleness, the whole part of this devotional, the whole center point of this is gentleness is a decision. You know, we talked about all throughout this study, you have a decision to make every day. Which path are you going to choose? Are you going to be the angry woman? Are you going to be the gentle woman? What are you going to do? It is a decision. We have to decide if we're going to be gentle or harsh. There is no, oh, that's just how I am. No, we have to decide. Being gentle takes work. Being a child of God, being a Christian, being a fill in the blank, mom, grandma, aunt, whoever, friend, takes work. Are we working towards being a gentle woman? Are we working towards being gentle? And I kind of thought to myself when I was doing this devotional, school starts this week. All the way across the board, school starts this week. Think of those teachers. Think how gentle they're going to have to be if they're not in the right mindset. Kids starting school, we have a few that are starting kindergarten, scared to death. Scared to death. They walk into a teacher that's harsh. It's going to scar them for life. They walk into a classroom that has a teacher that is gentle, loving, caring, speaks softly, speaks quietly, speaks with love and care. They are going to have the best year. And they're going to remember it. Same thing goes for every grade. It's not just the ones who start. Every grade, every child has a little bit of nervousness. Don't know what to expect, even if they know their teacher. How is she really going to be? Is she going to be mean? Is she going to be hateful? You have teachers that are that way. So I thought it was kind of neat that they kind of correlated this week with school starting and talking about being gentle. Of all the weeks of the year, this is a week to be gentle. Be gentle to your kids. Their anxieties are high. Be gentle to the parents. We went to Walmart today and everybody's trying to get their school supplies and they don't have the things you need or they don't have the right color or the right brand, and just be gentle. It's a week that everybody can be gentle. Everybody is anxious. Everybody is nervous. Everybody's world's about ready to try to get back into a routine. And so I just thought that was kind of neat that this lined up with that this week. But how are we doing as a gentle woman? We need to be gentle. God wants us to be gentle. God does not want us to be the angry woman. Next week, we're going to talk about the whispering woman and see what she has to say. I hope everyone has a great week. And thank you for listening. And I will see you here next week.